want you to jump like you trying to get stuck in the air. If you feeling so lit and don't care, shorty beat in the face in the mirror, up in the air. I want you to jump, 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 jump. Up in the air, I want you to jump, jump. Like you trying to get stuck in it. In the air. Like you trying to get stuck in the air. I want you to jump like you trying to get stuck in the air. If you feeling so lit and don't care, shorty beat in the face in the mirror, up in the air. I want you to jump like you trying to get stuck in the air. If you feeling so lit and don't care, shorty beat in the face in the mirror, up in the air. I want you to jump, jump. I want you to jump, 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 jump. Up in the air, I want you to jump, 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 jump. Like you trying to get stuck in it. Gotta get it, in the air.
Hello.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to our stream. It's a little bit unfortunate right now. We're getting all action-packed and ready to go, but Xbox servers are down. What does that even mean, you guys? What does it mean for an Xbox server to be down? How come our players can't play today so far?
So I guess like I don't know. Sometimes when servers go down, like you just like hold on. Players just aren't able to connect to any of the servers, so then they have to perform server maintenance, which takes a while to fix an entire I guess you could say continent.
Golly! Don't
Yeah.
they understand the importance of this cultural
Like
spectacle?
the one day that we couldn't have them have the
Crazy.
servers go down.
I know.
Yeah. So dumb.
If you're tuning in so far and you're like, where's the championship match? We're waiting for the servers on Xbox to not be broken. I've never actually seen this really go down. So, we're just being patient. I think it's affected quite a few gamers this afternoon. I know that Magic, who'll be co-casting with us, had a match against Carlsbad that I don't think happened.
No, yeah, they never showed up. We waited 15 minutes after the deadline for a forfeit, and we were sitting in the private match home screen for about an hour, and they never showed up.
Yeah. Well, you did what you had to do. Gave them the chance.
Yeah.
Carlsbad's a pretty good team, if I recall.
So how it's working in the spring season is all the varsity teams are in state, and all the JV teams are in regionals. So it would be Carlsbad JV, and so they're not as good as their varsity team, but their varsity team is a solid team.
Okay.
Carlsbad varsity is. Yeah, they literally have bad in their name. Like you can't argue with that.
Well, also
It might be more about Carl than it is,
it is the better.
Carl might be pretty awful. Well,
Yeah.
you're cutting in and out a little bit, but Mr. Kuhn, you doing? You alive? You back there?
I'm here. I was just listening to you guys chat along, but yeah, I just restarted my Xbox and unfortunately getting the same error that I think all of our players are getting as well.
Okay.
That is very unfortunate.
Well, we are being patient. In the name of the game, we're gonna just try and have some optimistic ideas here and hope that it works. And if it does, we'll obviously have a nice warm-up session for the players, and we'll get ready. But I had to start the stream. I thought, this is an important thing to do because a lot of people here are already on the stream wondering, wait, when's the game going to start? Are we doing this? We have 23 viewers, and we want to let you know that right now we have just a little bit of an error with the Microsoft Xbox servers being down, so we're being patient. Good time to have some ads for Sony and PC, huh?
Yeah. Definitely.
Do you want to play in the championship match? Then buy a PlayStation or a PC.
Yeah, it's required. It's a requirement.
It's rather unfortunate, right? I mean, no one should have to choose what device they have to play to be able to play. It's the whole point of Rocket League. You play it on Switch. You play it. You can't play it in real life or you die. But other than that, it's pretty accessible.
Yeah, in fact, so one of our players actually couldn't show up because he was on Xbox. So we had a JV2 player download Rocket League on his Switch and was willing to come play with us.
Yes, that's what it's all about. Well, I'm excited today. We have a lot of cool things going on. The Stream Deck, push of a button, things are changing. I'm no longer control escaping, using my mouse, moving over to this screen. It's all very nice and chill. So I'm looking forward to a great spectacle with all of you, and we can get this going.
I want a Stream Deck so bad.
Woo!
But I also don't have $150 laying around.
Sure. Glad to have everybody here in attendance, waiting for the Xbox servers to get back up so we can give our players a chance to warm up. We were supposed to meet and compete at 5 p.m., but it looks like the Xbox servers have been down for a few hours. And if you know anything about Rocket League, it means you can play it on Switch, PlayStation, Xbox. You can play it on a PC, and it creates an accessible game, but if any one of those go down, which is very rare, this is a very rare thing, then, you know, it's not equitable. You know, other players can't get into the game. So we're going to wait, and we're going to make sure we're giving the players a chance today. And if you're tuned in here, I want to appreciate you for being here. If you're from Eisenhower Middle School, welcome. If you're from James Monroe Middle School, welcome. It's a pleasure to have all of you, whether you are from those schools or not, or you're just into esports, or you are a fan of the Western Regional Middle School Esports Conference, you're in the right place here with Dr. 450, the General himself, Mr. Kuhn, Magic, and Piggy. Just stay tuned.
This is going to be a game. I'm going to say that. This is going to be one to keep in the memories. It's going to be a memorable game. I'm expecting at least 4 games. I don't think that it's going to be a sweep today.
I don't think so. I would expect 4 or 5, or I'm going home halfway in the stream.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah,
this is one of those shows you're like, I'm going to get my money's worth.
Yeah, and these teams are, you know, no strangers to each other. They've played probably 5 times over the last year. Starting with Piggy and Magic last year when they were both in the middle school level, and you know, James Monroe and Eisenhower got matched up the first round of our league play, and we've done some friendly scrimmages before that. So there's a lot of, you know, friendly faces and friendly usernames here. It would just be nice if we could get everybody on the field to duke it out.
Yeah, I agree. That would be ideal. I mean, what is the actual record here with each other? How many times have we won and lost? What are we at with the rivalry?
I know when I was in middle school, we beat you guys twice. I know you guys beat us in league play, and I think we beat you guys in scrims.
Okay.
I forgot how many times we scrimmed this year. So I think it's like 3 or 4 to 1 right now, but you guys beat us when it matters.
I think it's 3-1 in official play. I think we just had some fun.
Yeah.
C-Tech, thanks for following. DJ Rebel, thanks for following. I do think we're just trying to catch up in the series. You know, I think we're behind. I think it's 3-1. And, you know, I thought it was a crazy stat that, you know, we were the only team. I don't know. I just thought that was me. You guys went 7-1 in the regular season. It looks like. Is that right? 7-1. It's insane.
Yeah, 7-1. Yeah.
And I remember at the beginning of the season going, all right, well, here's a good idea. Let's just play EMS and see where we're at. And then you guys came out like Tesla rockets shooting up into the sky, and I was like, oh,
yeah. Oh, it's the gate swinging. Our trade. We don't use game 1 as a feeler game. We just go game 140% more every single game.
Dude, this is we're just hoping for the best here. Light Bob, thanks for joining. I know you must be Magic's friend.
Yeah.
Light Bob's actually our other high school coach. That's Magic and Light, who are our main coaches for the Eisenhower team, and they both. I don't think we would be here if it wasn't for them. They've put in, you know, many hours helping me get this thing off the ground, but also each week coaching, showing off some different moves and techniques to our players, which has been, you know, a really, really nice asset to the Eisenhower esports team.
I could tell you that if it wasn't for our younger players who become these assistant coaches, I don't think our teams would be as good. And I don't think they'd have the relationship going into high school that we want them to have. So this is a nice bridge, not only for Mr. Kuhn and I into the esports world, but, you know, from player to player, from school to household, from middle school to high school. I think people like Magic and Light and Raven King and Piggy and those who have been there, done that since last year, they're the Masons of esports. I mean, they're building this.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Some good news. We got kind of a friendly little mixer going on with another APS school who's looking to join, you know, our Western Regional Middle School Esports Conference at Desert Ridge. So I think they had 4 or 5 players, and 2 of our players got on and just kind of messed around. But it'll be nice to welcome some more APS schools into the mix.
Oh, for sure.
It's also funny because the The only good teams are from New Mexico. Like,
that is true.
I don't know about that.
No,
I
no,
don't know about that.
That is so true because
I mean, there is
the
that.
fall
there-
season of Play VS was like the top 5 teams were La Cueva, Los Alamos.
Are you talking just
UCLA.
about overall talent? You think that there's something in the Rio
Well-
Grande water?
Well, I'm just
Well, I
saying,
mean-
like, also middle school too.
There is Yaya. I will say that is a solid player.
I would say that if I was to make an all-star roster with the top 6 players, I think I'd be dipping into Arizona, a little bit of California, and New Mexico. I definitely think, like, dude, next season we have teams from Washington. Next season we have teams from Colorado. Heck, a team from Los Alamos hit me up 2 days ago. I mean, I'm like, whoa, and Los Alamos has some good players. You know that there are Rocket League players hiding out, in the schools, and they're just waiting for people like JD Williams to from Levine Esports to get them out there, or James Wood from the NCEL. So I don't know. I think people like Mr. Kuhn and I, we're getting the word across, and people are like, "Hey man, I heard you had an esports team." I'm like, "Yes, what's up? Let's go." He's like, "I'm SSL. Is that good?" I'm like, "Yes, let's go."
Yeah, I'm actually a top 100 player. Is that around the realm that we're talking about?
Is that good? Am I good yet? So if you're tuning in here and you're wondering what the heck is happening here, I'm here with my co-casters and the coach from Eisenhower Middle School, Adam Kuhn, and we're waiting for the Xbox servers to go live. They apparently have been down for a few hours, and to honor the show that we promised to give all of you, we made sure that we wanted to get on, make sure that you weren't lied to. There is a show happening, but we are being patient. We are trying to do the right thing, and like a storm, wait it out.
Yes, sir. I mean, out here in Albuquerque, we get. I mean, recently we have, but we usually don't get that many storms. We're usually just it's kind of sunny. Then it's kind of really cold.
But it's also just sunny.
Yeah. And then it rains for about 3 minutes.
I'll tell
And it
you,
just kinda
yeah,
5-10 minutes.
it's usually
stops,
really
and then
good
goes
weather.
again.
And then if you want something to happen, like the balloon fiesta, then tornadoes come into town or something. So it's
True, that is true.
if
Oh,
you,
and then there's those moments where it like snows for a day, and then just like complete like 60-degree weather the next day.
yeah, those days trip me out. Hey, happy birthday going out to Justin. It says, just simple logic. Hey, it's Chance's birthday today. He turned 13. Happy birthday, Chance.
Yeah,
Shout out
Chance
to
is
you.
one of our 18 players over at Eisenhower. He is
Let's
Musty2119.
Musty22. I see that guy online all the time. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
I'll send that guy some credits or something this evening.
You know, actually, Rocket League gave every single player who bought a crate 1,000 free credits.
That's
When was that?
So it takes a little bit, but they announced it like yesterday or 2 days ago. So if you bought any keys and opened a crate, or you opened up an event crate, you were getting a free 1,000 credits.
I did that long ago.
I'm sad because I didn't play during that time. So
Dang. Yeah, I got my 1,000 credits yesterday. So
I
I'm gonna be
see.
buying the Ford F-150 if you know what I mean.
That thing is ridiculous, dude.
It's actually, it's actually not that bad of a car. I'm not
No,
gonna
it's-
lie.
I mean, the torque, obviously. I mean, what do you got? Horses? You got sheep? What are you trying to? There's nothing better than a Ford F-150 commercial to really see, what you think about yourself as a man. Because apparently, if
Yeah.
you're not the strongest, toughest, built to last, then you are a piece of, and you're like, oh man. All right,
Yeah, I was
Jordan,
hoping that new F-150 in Rocket League, you could just kind of carry the ball in your truck bed and drive it right into the goal.
I tried that. It doesn't work. I was like, someone please give me something that I can do in this game. Nope. Or maybe it's possible. It probably is. I can't do it. I don't know if anyone tried, but
No, I'll figure that out once I buy it.
the commercials are lying, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm giving it one more shot here, trying to load up my Xbox to see if servers are back.
Someone says in the chat, say hi if you like pizza. Mr. Savage, my student teacher, says I work at Dion's, I make pizza. Boom!
Yo.
Drop the
Hey,
pepperoni stick. Let's go.
You know, I'm gonna go get some pepperoni. Be right back. I
Yeah.
need a snack.
Just bite into a stick of pepperoni, ladies and gentlemen. We don't do slices here on the stream.
Shout out to Dion's, man. I love me some Dion's.
If we get Dion's to sponsor APS Esports, if you're listening, that would be a good shot. Raven King saying, my brother works at Dion's. Awesome. I made the mistake of telling Mr. Savage that I used to work at Dion's and then was saying a bunch of crazy stories about my past. And he's like, oh, my dad helps like run Dion's. He's like a director. And I was like, oh, you don't need to look up my file. Like, I swear I got written up on my first day of work at Dion's.
I think
For
you know,
what?
someone that works at Dion's has one of those stories. I had a buddy in high school, and he got fired because they were messing around with the extra pizza dough, tossing little, dough balls at each other, and wound up, and he chucked a fastball and went flying out of the kitchen into a lady's face who was trying to enjoy her sub.
You know, that it's a dangerous place to enjoy your meal. That's for sure.
Unless you sit in like one of the booths in like the corner.
Yeah. All those booths can come up, by the way. They're hollow. You can put things inside of them. Yeah, just in case. That used to be one of the tricks I had when you're cleaning up and you're like, man, how'd you clear that table so fast? I go, look under the seat. Woo! Put that thing back down. Shut it.
Someone said in the EMS Esports Discord that he thinks that the Xbox servers are up.
Okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and use that positive vibes and see. We started this stream because we had the faith that it would work. We're gonna see what happens now. The first day at Dion's, I got written up for. I got put on the salad station. And they're like, all right, you got to put on these gloves, you got to make these salads. And like 30 minutes in, I was like eating all the different types of food and ingredients. And the manager looked over like, hey, wait, you can't just be eating Parmesan and like olives and cucumbers. I'm like, really? Are you sure? And so they wrote me up the first day. I was like, how are you supposed to work in front of all this food and not have any?
True. That is a true statement.
Laughing to myself. Hopefully these servers are back up. If you're tuning in with us, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being patient. We are hosting the show we said we would. We have James Monroe Middle School on the west side of Albuquerque, New Mexico, taking on Eisenhower Middle School from the east side of Albuquerque. And it's a great rivalry. 47 teams jumped into the conference earlier in September and played an 8-week season. Generals ending that season 7-1, Raptors finishing 8-0, and these two teams are suited to play each other, and we're just really hoping that the Xbox servers get back up here soon, and that we'll be good to go. I appreciate your patience. I know that you were expecting a game, but we're going to do whatever it takes to get there.
Oh, okay. So the person that said that the servers are up, he corrected himself. He said no, they aren't, but all you can do is free play. So.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, before some people couldn't even load into the game, so we're getting somewhere.
Okay. Well, we will have a allotted time frame here before we give you all an update on what to expect. But in the meantime, it would be gaming. So if you're stuck here with us having a good time, then hey, it's good to have you. We have our Raptor principals up in the mix. It looks like I can check from our stream avatars. Everyone's looking real good. The Stream Deck, some of you are asking, is awesome. I keep squishing the little buttons because they're kind of jelly on the fingertips. They feel good.
Oh.
I don't know how else to describe it, but they just feel like... You ever wanted to touch Jello, but you're like, should I, or am I going to ruin it?
Mm-hmm.
And so you play that game, you like kind of put your finger in there and you kind of back out, and then you look to the left and right and you're like, I'm doing it. You know, and you're like, oh, it's not done yet. And then you can tell like you've totally ruined it, and your parents come in and like, whoa, who touched the Jello? All you had to do was nothing. You literally had to do nothing. All you had to do was nothing, and you messed it up. That's me.
I was gonna say I want to get a Stream Deck so bad.
It's all for the feel. It's just built different.
True. So I guess it's also helpful for school as well, especially since we're online. You can have like your Google Meet codes like as a button, so you just press a button.
No way. For real?
Yeah.
Man, I could like DJ my Google Classroom essentially.
Yeah, you just put like the Google Classroom link on one of your Stream Decks, and you just push a button, or you push that button, and it'll like take you to the Google Meet.
Oh. Now I know Mr. Kuhn has been investing in a bunch of different ideas and potentially some equipment. What do you have in mind there for Eisenhower Middle School? What's the next couple year plan for your program, Mr. Kuhn?
Yeah, we started off small, just pretty much like any school would. To be honest, last year with Coach Magic and Coach Light and another one of their friends, they brought in their computers, they brought in their Xboxes, and we connected at school that way. We didn't have any devices or any real support, but that was kind of a kickoff and start in the right direction. And then during the first couple months of online schooling, I was able to reach out to our dedicated APS IT staff, and these two guys, Joe and Chris, came to my school and they said, let's look and see what you guys have here. What can we turn into esports machines? And so the librarian, Mrs. Raybold, she was nice enough to let me take 5 or 6 of the old Dells from the library. We re-imaged them. We got Rocket League loaded on there with Discord. We also have Smite and League of Legends, which is the more titles we like to get students involved in playing, hopefully when we return to school. But then I've been trying to find some funding, and we have a computer on the way that's kind of a decent gaming computer, but we're going to use it primarily, I think, for casting. That's something that I really want to grow with our esports program. Students, many of them have devices at home, which we can leverage. But I want to also get, dedicated rigs at our school and a casting system, similar to what you have, Miles, over at Jameson Rowe. And I think getting students involved in the casting and all of the other parts that esports offers is only going to make our program grow, get more students excited and participating in this awesome initiative.
Well said. I think it's like investing into the curricular resources of the future. I think when people come into my classroom, they're like, wait, so what do you teach? And I'm like, cue the evil laugh. Like everything that you would read, write, speak, and listen, those are what you need for, like life in general. So when they come in here and they see all these computers and they see the mics and the green screen or whatever, I'm like, I'm preparing these kids for jobs. I'm preparing them to speak, in front of lots of people, to be able to perform under pressure. And this is just like on a technical side. I have all these buttons and flashing lights and things. And I think Mr. Kuhn can even attest to this. I mean, he was the first teacher ever, Mr. Kuhn was, to actually donate his Xboxes to me when I was teaching, when we were here together. And I still have them in my room. I'm very thankful for that. I thought that was a really cool thing he did for our school. And I think you are continuing that, it sounds like, at Eisenhower. So, I mean, I'm just really impressed with what you've been doing, man.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. It was me and you, Miles, talking about, our affinity for video games and how we could leverage them in the classroom. And you are, spearheading a lot of this, especially on the APS side. And it's just growing. Like I said, we got more schools, Desert Ridge and other ones coming on this year. So it's been a testament of your hard work and dedication to the middle school's realm for esports. And I think we're going to keep it growing and continue to, have this pipeline into the high schools where we have, some of the best players in the nation, competing against each other and then representing not only their schools but our district and our state.
Well said again. I hope that we're going to continue to be leaders in this field, because I want APS to really, in New Mexico itself, to really shine in the education world. I know we don't get a lot of brightness, and I feel like these kids are really illuminating some of the things that maybe they've been in the shadows, right? And I think the academic stuff that we're seeing illuminates a lot of what these kids have been doing behind the scenes.
Yeah, and I think it's all about getting the word out with these streams of games and whatnot. I think about 10 more students who have, said they are interested in the esports team, and I pretty much say, you're welcome here. There's tryouts, obviously, to get students matched up with players of their same ability and skill, but I want as many students that want to be a part of Eisenhower Esports to be there. So I've been loading them into our Discord, introducing them to the coaches and the other players, and just creating a community where they can, play games on their own, but also compete in our conference and league play and this championship match.
Want to thank Center Mid Killer for the raid of 8 people. How was your stream out there? If you're raiding us, hopefully you had a good time. Shout outs to everyone who is also following as well. 30, I know things are a little bit delayed here, but we have 33 viewers who are looking for a show. And I'll tell you what, between just even the talk we're having right now with Mr. Kuhn and Piggy and Magic, I think it's almost like a little conference presentation. And I kind of want to switch gears here while we're waiting for the Xbox servers to get up and just kind of put this on our co-casters, our former students and coaches. Piggy and Magic, whatever one you want to go first. Why do you think esports is important for school? Like, why is it important that we do this?
I'll go first. So I think esports is really important in school because it introduces another way that you can communicate with your friends. And it's a way that a lot of people, I would say a vast majority of people do in the world, A vast majority of people do already play video games. So being able to do that in school with all your friends that you're going to be seeing most of the time of the week and playing it like either competitively or casting them competitively is such a great environment, which is very inclusive as well. But it's also a way, like I know Dr. Harvey is doing this. Dr. Harvey is taking video games and taking like story-based video games and teaching them like how to use context and stuff like that and communication skills. And it's so innovative, and you have so much like freedom with how you play the video game, because a lot of the video games that Dr. Harvey is playing, it will always follow like the exact same path unless there's more than one option, right? For like, let's say like a dialogue piece, and it's just a great way to be like, all right, this is what it's going to be like, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And Piggy, you can even kind of segue off of that. You were in my class last year with this stuff. So I mean, what is that? What is all that to you?
Yeah, like what Magic was saying, that there was this game that we did play at the very beginning of the year, which was Detroit Become Human, and that game there was like 4 different possibilities that you could choose from, and each possibility led to a different outcome. And we would always go into class, and Dr. Harvey would be like, third period it got this ending, or whatever, 6th period or whatever other period got this ending. And each period almost had a different ending. There's like 1 or 2 periods that had the same ending, but it was pretty cool to see that that game specifically could get more than just like 2 or 3 like different endings, and then after that Dr. Harvey tries to implement, I've heard you talk about this several times, that the hard work people put into gaming and stuff like that, like they can put the same hard work into like reading or like their own schoolwork and stuff like that, which is like basically try to take what you know from like the gaming world and try to implement it into like actual real life stuff.
It's just hard to do, right? Some people go, what are your players going to be when they grow up? And I go, I don't know. You tell me. If you're right, I'll give you $1 million. How do you know? Like, and so I don't think anybody knows. And to be even a little bit crazier, I don't even think some of the jobs that our kids are going to get they don't even exist yet. I mean, I see the stuff that's happening in the world every 3 weeks. There's some new innovation, and you want me to know what my kids are going to do in 8 years? I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know, but I can tell you tomorrow they're going to be learning things that affect them for the rest of their life. And, I may not be using an abacus in my class, but we're still using calculators to some degree. The tool changes, but the idea that you need help with math does not. And I think esports, using games, and I'll even speak on behalf of Mr. Kuhn, he was the first one who was like, hey, on this Chromebook, how can I get like Assassin's Creed or like Civilizations to work? I'm like, ooh, I don't know if we're going to be able to. And he was already thinking about like, how am I going to, he's the one who got this grant in my classroom for like 36 Chromebooks. Back in the day, he was the man. He was like, he was making things happen. And so I can only imagine that at Eisenhower Middle School, there's a lot of cool stuff happening. Because, correct me, you teach a technology course, right, Mr. Kuhn? What do you got going on at Eisenhower?
Yeah, I am the 6th grade info tech teacher. I also teach the yearbook, and just finished up that yearbook today, which was a big feat to do virtually. But yeah, I like to kind of get the kids to know how to use the basic programs that they're going to be using throughout middle school and high school, especially with the G Suite, since we're a G Suite school through APS as our district. But also getting them into kind of web design and business marketing, having students start to think about what their small business would be if they were to become entrepreneurs. And so towards the end of the semester, students kind of put together a business plan, a proposal, even a short little presentation for would-be investors. They design their own logos, build their own marketing website that doesn't truly work, but they have all of the components that you would need if you had the funding to start this, or have the investors to start a small business. And some of these kids have these amazing ideas that they could make a reality. They could make happen today. It's not far-fetched to think. I watch that show Shark Tank, and every once in a while you get this little 10, 15-year-old kid who's got this amazing idea, and those sharks are like blown away, like, why didn't I think of this? And so I try to promote that while utilizing all sorts of different applications and technology. And what I'd like to do is to really also build in the esports program within my class curriculum. So maybe when we're talking about web design or graphic design, I might have my students create banners for upcoming matches, or little icons and logos that we can use within the program. So I think that would be really cool.
I think it all stems from that tangential piece of what can my kids do as a result of being here. It's not that being here creates learning, it's that doing something while you're here does something. And so when you're in a room and you're playing esports, you might see the game, but the behind the scenes of esports or any of this tech is that we're getting kids to learn how to cooperate, critical, think, be able to read on an innovative level, to write, to speak, to game. And I think that the digital composition of this stuff is just a new way that these kids make sense of the world. I mean, all the visuals you see today were done by a high school student who doesn't even go to any of these bigger brother high schools like La Cueva or Cibola, where these two schools send kids to. We have Scott Robertson from ECA, who went out of his way to make all these graphics, said this is going to be something I'm very interested in. I think it speaks to that very notion that we have people who want to help out who are not even involved because they just love doing stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And like we said, esports is more than just the players on the field during the game. Like we said, we've got broadcasters and students learning about journalism and how to prepare for a career in that field. And we got other students working on digital marketing or digital graphics, and all of those are pathways to really, at times lucrative careers, but also career fields that are growing immensely. And there's going to be a need for students that are, actually adults that have experience. And it's going to be awesome when these kids write down on their resume, middle school, Eisenhower Esports Club, I was doing X, Y, and Z. And I think future employers are going to look at that and be like, wow, you have years and years of experience, not just a degree, but you have some real life experience, and they'll be able to kind of show off what they've done and really explain to those future employers all their skill sets that they have kind of come to have over the years.
I like to tell, I've been going to some job fairs and kind of talking with employers and stuff about, what their expectations are of middle schoolers and education and stuff. And I like to tell people, like, oh, my students can manipulate objects in 3-dimensional spaces and invert things. And I said they could be dentists looking at your teeth from behind your head with a mirror. They could be working at Space Force flying satellites. I mean, they have undefined outcomes that they are literally carving the paths for themselves. I mean, I'm giving them the tools. They're plowing through, making their path. And it's crazy around me. It's like sometimes I feel like it's like a metaphorical ant farm, and I look around and there's all these pathways, there's all these people, they're doing all these things, and they're working hard, and I have no idea what's going on. It's just so chaotic. But at the end of the day, you can see the progress everybody's made at the end. They pushed a little bit this way. Hey, I learned a bit of this. So like when we do a game design project in my class, all of a sudden I find out I have people who can make electronic music, some people who can make the characters, some people that are going to be making the plot. So it's been really interesting to see how people's natural talents seem to just kind of get in there and prevail when you give them esports or technology. It's like let the person put the passion behind the technology. Technology allows us to do that, but I can speak for you all day, but I don't want to. I know that you work with some really cool kids, Mr. Kuhn. Have you guys made anything, designed anything lately that you guys are proud of, even virtually?
Not too much within my own classroom, but with my esports team, before we started league play, students were excited, and so they just started to kind of create graphics. They wanted to make a header for our Google Classroom, which we kind of used to keep ourselves organized, and they started to make other icons for their Discord profiles and things like that. But I do feel like, because of this pandemic, it's kind of stunted our growth a little bit, but we've prevailed in this digital space, and I think it's been great because it brings a sense of community and connection between these students. And I've got students who want to cast the games. I just didn't have the technology available, especially in this digital realm. But I think only sky's the limit for us, and there's going to be a lot of growth. And we've got great administrators and support at our school, and they're on board, which I think helps that process.
I want to just take a second to thank our administration, and I know that even in our past we've had some of the same administration, and I can say Michelle Vela at James Monroe, and Trini Gallegos, and Brian Hendricks, and Jose Lopez in the front office. They've really been supportive, and I can tell you as a teacher, the best feeling is to know that you can do what you think is right, and what you feel like you should do. And out of the 8-9 years or whatever I've been at James Monroe, I've never ever felt that it wasn't all on me and that I get to do what I think is right, and with conjunction of the school goals. So I don't know if you have any shout outs, Mr. Kuhn, but I certainly feel good saying those. I feel super supported here.
Yeah, definitely. Like I was saying, my administrators, Victor Sanchez and Vice Principal Holly Hallgrove, they were generous enough to give me a stipend. I would do this, for free. I mean, it's a lot of fun hanging out with these kids and playing, but it makes it, nice that, the time I'm spending away from my family dedicating to this, I'm getting rewarded for it. And then I just wanted to shout out someone in the chat, the C Savage or C Teacher B about Genius Hour. That was a program that I did last year with my 7th, 8th grade tech. And I pretty much had the students say, hey, what do you want to learn? What do you want to get better at? We're going to dedicate one day a week, 20% of the school week to pursuing whatever that passion is. I had students design their own sneakers. They started with actual real sneakers, kind of coloring and drawing on it. And then I got them into Photoshop and showed them how they could create their own digital designs. I had students that wanted to start fundraisers and donate money to charitable causes and stuff. And so, Genius Hour is an awesome branch that any teacher can incorporate into their classroom, no matter what level or what subject they teach. So if you haven't heard about it, check it out. There's tons of resources out there, and Genius Hour is a really awesome program.
I remember Genius Hour.
What did you do for your Genius Hour?
My Genius Hour project was going to be I was going to write a song with one of my friends. But COVID stopped that, unfortunately.
That's right. You started to kind of get into the digital music making.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I think I remember like the last lesson we were building our own websites.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Magic had me the second semester, so I only had him up until March. So we really didn't get to fully get into that whole project and dedicate enough time for students to really see their ideas blossom and come together.
Oh yeah, that's something I also really like about esports. Is like one of the main things that I always tell people why they should join esports. It's super flexible. Like I know me and also Light, we are both really big musicians. We love music. We literally breathe music essentially. But we also like are very invested into esports. I know I have almost like 1,300 hours in Rocket League, and Light is on the road to like 2,000 hours into Rocket League. So it's a very flexible activity to do, but it's also like incredibly fun because you're playing video games with your friends.
Now let me stop you here. It makes me think of this thing we hear in education a lot, and I think all our viewers can attest to this. I don't know if you've heard of Malcolm Gladwell. He writes a lot of things. One of the things he wrote about that was already around, but he made more popular, was this 10,000 hour rule. That if you spend 10,000 hours in something, that's about generally what it takes to become an expert. And they make a bunch of examples from Russian hockey players to just outliers in many sports, and what it takes to be the very best, what they went through as a kid that got them to that point. What are your thoughts on Malcolm Gladwell and the 10,000 hour rule? I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot there. Maybe Mr. Kuhn, if you know a little bit about that, you might pop in before their answer if you want to add to that.
I'll answer this. So I do agree to a certain extent with the 10,000 hour rule, but I think especially now, people especially that are like of like teenagers like me being like 14 and stuff like that, we start thinking a lot faster, and we can learn and remember things and build muscle memory a lot faster. So I think that could almost be like it could be like justified in a sense. But I do 100% agree with that statement. If you look at all like professional Rocket League players, they all have anywhere within the realm of like 7,000 to like almost 20,000 hours.
Okay, interesting.
I also have an example that Magic and Light almost have, or they do have more than double my hours, yet I do remember a time where both Magic and Light were better than me back when we used to play like TechSef and all that stuff. And then slowly as we started getting into like the next school year, like I started gradually getting better and better and better. And then now I'm essentially better than both of them, except like for one game mode, which Magic's like insane at ones anyway. But like the point where both of them were better than me, and then now like not even me having 1,000 hours yet, I'm essentially better than both of them.
Yeah, and to branch off of that, I don't think it's how many hours you put into a game. I think it's how many hours you put into a game a day. So let's say I put in 3 hours, like 3 hours a day into a game, right? It would take me roughly 2 or 3 years to get to the same skill level as someone that's probably putting 9 to 10 hours into a game every single day, because you're still getting you're still getting the you're going to get to the same rank, but it just takes longer because you're not putting in as much effort. So if you put in, 128% effort, you're playing like 15 hours a day, which I don't recommend. Please don't do that. You're putting in you're dedicating your time to this one video game. You won't see improvement so quickly. I remember when I started playing Fortnite, or not Fortnite. I don't know where Fortnite came. Rocket League. I started playing over Thanksgiving break in 6th grade, right? I went from, maybe 600 hours, 700 hours to Diamond 2-ish. And that's when I started really focusing on school, and okay, I probably have to focus more on school. And that's when it started to die on my hours. But if you look at my account, I play 10 hours to these, which is roughly an hour a day. So I'm a little bit, but I think it's more fun. How much?
I want to just chime in here. It's been lovely to chat, and unfortunately, I don't know if these servers are going to come back on anytime soon. My daughter's here. Do you want to say hi? Oh, she gave us a little raspberry right there. No. But you might be a future esports player in the making. She's always running away with my Xbox controllers out of my office and everything.
Well, I think that's going to be a nice point to say to the viewers. We are going to be, I'll wait 7 more minutes here for Microsoft to kind of get their things together, but I want to thank everybody who spent the time to enjoy listening to us and getting ready for this. I mean, if you were here for esports, you pretty much got it. You just didn't get to see any today, and I think that's almost what esports is like. People expect it's going to be explosions, but there's a lot more nerding out to this, than it is just watching the 35, 45-minute match, right? I'm almost glad we got to do all this talking. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I definitely, I came in to here just hoping, and now it's turned out to be a great conversation.
We just gave a conference presentation, all 4 of us.
Yeah, we pretty much just did an entire podcast. We're almost running on an hour.
Let's go.
Right, yeah.
All right. Well, shout outs to all of you for watching. We will send more information out to all of you about a next game or when it may go down. If it's going to happen later today, we'll obviously go live. We'll let you know. But thank you for being patient. I don't know what happened to Microsoft Xbox today. I can tell you that all of the players involved today are the ones who are suffering the worst. They want to play so bad.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, wait a little longer. And they're like, what? How? I can't. So hopefully we get this done today, maybe 7 o'clock. Maybe it's an evening game. But I think if there can be riots at the Capitol, imagine what Xbox might be scaring about. If we don't turn on our system, they're going to come get us, boys. So,
yes. I was looking at the Xbox Twitter, and
it just says sorry.
And the last maintenance took 6 hours.
Man, didn't it go out at 1:30?
Let's see. Let me look. So 3 hours ago, it said we are aware that users might not be able to sign into Xbox Live. The first tweet about it was about 3 hours ago. So
man, we are ready to go here, folks. I've switched the screen to just the overall Rocket League desktop. We're certainly ready to. We have some cool stuff planned for this match. We have custom goal explosions from APS students. I think I went over that earlier. We have custom banners, if you can see down below. And Mixata is, I believe, Scott's. I think it's Scott, is his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Scott's Robertson stuff. So, I mean, we're excited. Hopefully this happens later this evening. Xbox, you really took us by surprise. Don't know why you did that.
That camera angle is sick, Dr. Harvey. I'm just gonna say it right now.
This is it, folks. I'm gonna tell you right now. I have never been happier to be in my classroom. I mean, my classroom is cooler than any environment I have ever been in. I mean,
dude,
this is
your
where
classroom
it's at.
is Like my room, I'm gonna be real. My room is pretty cool. I just got a new addition. I got an LED sign that's a popsicle, and it's like RGB and stuff, and it's really cool. But you still top me. You got that triple monitor setup. Like you got the setup.
Cocoa Crispy setup, ladies and gentlemen. And you know, I'm not gonna give a little release about what everything looks like, but hopefully, you know, when we have some more time, it would be nice to kind of take everyone through a little bit of tour of our setup, because it has been a couple years in the making. 3 different grants, about $15,000, and we've been able to do some cool stuff that I think it hopefully will affect the way other schools model their gaming labs. You know, I see a big trend that the computer labs are starting to go, because now everyone's got a Chromebook. Like, what? Or are we going to tell everyone to get a Chromebook and to go into a classroom? Like, so the labs are starting to disappear, and you know, I think it might be interesting to start making some gaming labs, some STEAM labs. A lab where they're, you know, at a school you might have a 3D printer, you might have some VR goggles, some AR goggles, maybe you have a gaming setup, a broadcasting setup, maybe that's where the school news is done. Like, there needs to be a place where people are dissecting frogs in VR, and you walk in, you're like, oh dang, excuse me, you're learning, my bad. You know, and you're like, whoa, there's flashing lights, like, woo.
Oh yeah, definitely. I know the Quava has a gaming lab. I'm pretty sure they have a dedicated lab for esports. So
Wow.
I'm not sure what it's like at Cibola, and I don't expect Piggy to know either,
Well,
because you haven't been.
we don't even have windows
Never.
really over there, man. The only room with like windows is like the art room, right? They're the only ones that like hope.
The only place I've been in Cibola is the art room, and there's like, you know, that there's like, or Dr. Harvey, you know, there's like this the back place. You like go. You go down Ellison, and then there's like all of that like T-Mobile and stuff. It's like the nearest store over there.
What kind of sketch? There's a T-Mobile at Cibola?
No, it's
I'm just kidding.
from Cibola. But anyway, you go into that door, and there's like a bunch of like classrooms and stuff, and it's like a big hallway, and then there's like the auditorium over there. That's like the only place I've been.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I got you. I'll tell you what. Cibola and La Cueva, they're excellent schools. When you get there in person, you're gonna love it. Sometimes I know the East Side West Side rivalry can get pretty real, but anyone who's listened to this stream today can tell that pretty much esports is a pretty closed knit group. I mean, I think we all kind of look out for one another. Our Discord kind of speaks to that. Our gaming nights kind of speak to that. Heck, most of us spent time watching the Board of Education meeting for 5 hours. Two times. We spent like 9 hours watching 7 people go, I'd like to pass the motion, no. I mean, decouple sports. I'm like, okay. All right, well, last thoughts here for our viewers. Think about that for a second. Want to thank everybody who tuned in and got a chance to enjoy this. There's going to be more of this. Saskursky, Justin, Dragon, Light, and Center Mid Killer. It sounds like you're from Albuquerque. I'm so glad you rated us and found this channel. We're going to do a lot of cool stuff on here, so it's just the beginning. So I really appreciate you and your fans coming in and checking this out. We would be having esports. We would be having a conference championship right now, but we are at the mercy of technology, and I feel like teachers say that a lot. You know, it's like the teacher when their light bulb goes out in their overhead or something, and they're like, well, it's like when an expo marker goes out in my classroom, I throw it out the window. You know, I'm like, you're dead to me. I have to teach. You know, it's like ammo. I'm like, I need a new one. You know, and when it does us dirty and we can't write with it anymore, nothing makes me more mad than an expo marker with no expo in it, or whatever you want to call it. You know, like, why, right? And so when we log in for esports and we don't find that there's anything going on, and you've stuck around to listen to this conversation, you all right with me, folks. Piggy,
Yeah.
Magic, last words here for the stream.
I'm kind of sad that we couldn't see the finals. I was hoping to see someone take home a trophy today. But you know, it was good to have this conversation. You know, we're coming on an hour, and so it's been good. kind of turned into a podcast in a sense.
I mean, it pretty much is. Our life is a podcast that some people listen
That,
to,
you know,
and
it
some people
actually
play.
really is. Honestly.
And live it that way. You know, some people are like, what's the next podcast going to be about? I'm like, I don't know. I need to finish off today's episode. I'm living it. I haven't done anything yet but create it. And I think right now, 26 of you are enjoying that podcast feeling with us. And so I want to appreciate you being a part of our episode today. You never know what each day has in store. That's why you download and press play and get on with your day. Oh, and with that being said, you guys all take it easy. Dr. 450, Magic, Piggy, we out. We're going to see you here for the championship round soon. Take care.
All right, well, my sister is screaming, so I'm probably going to go.
Alrighty.
All right.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Later.
See ya.
Thank you, Piggy. Thank you, Magic.
Yeah, of course.
All right. See you later.
See you later.